Do you believe that the Democrats can defeat Donald Trump if they have to defend socialism?
I think it'll be a lot harder, but the bigger concern that I have is further dividing the country.
Right? It used to be like you come up with some idea and then the other side doesn't like it, so they call it socialist, and then it's not safe anymore. But it's lost its power more and more. First of all, because it was thrown around so much, right? So the Affordable Care Act, invented by conservatives at the Heritage Foundation, based on market principles, first implemented by a Republican governor, and then when a Democratic president is smart enough to steal that idea and implement it, suddenly it's socialism, and is characterized as such by the people who don't like it. And so the more it gets thrown around loosely, the less it means anything. But also, I think, from a generation that didn't grow up in this era when you had communism and socialism here, kind of the same thing in people's imagination. And then you had democracy and capitalism here, also the same thing. So if you were for socialism, that meant you were with communism, which meant you were against democracy. And I think that just doesn't compute for anybody my age or younger. And what's really interesting in the moment we're living in is the tensions that are arising between capitalism and democracy. And the real question is, when those tensions arise, do you defend capitalism over democracy? The fact that Bernie Sanders got in 2016 changes the numbers on socialism among Democrats for 2020. And we got to recognize that there's more to campaigns than just trying to get over the finish line. The conduct of the campaigns matters. And Republicans were very smart about this. They ran super uphill campaigns in the 60s with ideas that seemed preposterously far out when Goldwater campaigned on them, and then became mainstream by the time Reagan campaigned on them. And that was how conservatives began to win not just an election, but an era. And I think serious progressives should be thinking about how we set the conditions for our values to be in the ascendant over the next 20 or 30 years, not just how we get through 2020.